or Friday night open mic.
95 Ocean, you have an open mic. Oh, 95 Ocean, open mic. Oh, 95 Ocean.
So used to saying Thursday night. Thursday night. So what's wrong with your Rode? Won't work?
Yeah, it won't even turn on, dude. So yeah.
You would like humping it with your phone?
No, this is my iPhone and my setup. It's just I don't have audio or my fucking headphones, but whatever.
The Rode let you down, huh?
You're gonna make it work, bro.
It's stuck on. I turn it on. If the bar goes across, it stops right at the end, and it just sits there. I unplug it, let it sit 10 minutes, plug it back in. Nothing happens. So we're raw dogging it.
Rode's like the Glock of sound equipment, man.
Yeah,
it's just reliable.
Exactly.
Not much to it.
If this was a SIG, it would go off by itself and it would work.
Oh man, yeah. I still don't really know what's going on with that. I don't follow anything, but I know that every time we do those lives, because I guess the one SIG has reportedly gone off on its own, but it was always sometimes in the holster. It was always in the holster.
Give me a video to watch that I have to watch.
And it's the SIG P320 is the main culprit of the situation, not the 365. And then somebody in the chat last night was talking about what is it, M18 or whatever, the military version.
Yeah,
that it happened to that, but I've only ever heard the 320s.
Okay.
My shit is not together. Sorry,
dude. I can't barely hear you, Mike.
Is it bad?
You might need to bring your phone closer or turn.
Hold on. The audio is a computer.
Well, I'm gonna say, hey, this is my new. Even though it's in little third screens, this is my new donut shop. Look at that. I got freaking donuts. I got a register over here somewhere. Sorry, I'm flipped so that the word donut shop works, but I got sprinkles, everything. You guys want a donut? I'll it's $1 a piece.
Dude, thanks, bro.
That sound better?
Appreciate it.
Sounds just
this too. I would have to have gone back.
Is it louder?
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I'm contributing as much as Reagan right now.
We heard from Reagan today. Finally.
I did hear from Reagan today.
Yeah.
I didn't hear from Reagan.
Yeah, he's alive.
I'm gonna text him.
Well, that won't work. You need his new number.
Oh shit, you're right.
No, but I always send him a link. Justin said I look like Ricky Bobby sending his dad fucking tickets to every race
every time.
So I want to talk about something.
Oh God, what?
I'm going back to that shooting last night because there's a lot of the girl in the car.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I finally watched the whole video today.
The initial unpacking of that is, and I get it, is to blame the female. But if we go back to the beginning of that video, the male attempts to go hands on. You saw it now. He gets away from him. I got a lot of comments about why did she pull her gun? I have no problem with her. And if she would have smoked that dude the second he entered that door frame, we would be calling her the most tactical
six in the abdomen
ever. It would have been great. But the fact that it went the way it did is starting to get arguments about should she have pulled her gun? Was she justified to pull her gun? There's no question she was justified to pull her gun.
No question.
And I'm getting flack from local people that are arguing with me that she shouldn't have pulled her fucking gun. Like, you have an AR-15 in there, some type of platform. You have a fucking shotgun, maybe. You have a car, and you are encountering a fucking mentally ill, drug-induced maniac.
A danger to society.
Yes, you absolutely. Yeah. If she killed that dude, she would be the officer of the fucking century.
Yeah.
So I have local people that are fucking boneheaded enough to say that she didn't have the right to pull her gun out.
Are you saying local people?
Like, people I work with here locally are trying to tell.
I was going to say, because I don't know if you saw in the comments on Instagram, Angel Cortez lived like 5 minutes from there. His mom heard the shots.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Angel Cortez that was on Anti-Hero.
Yeah.
He's local. He's literally local to that incident. But I showed my wife like the reel, and then she likes to say, "All right, find me the full video. Like, let's get the context." And
we didn't see the whole video.
Right. And so I kind of worked it through, and I explained to her from my point of view, like the things that I would have handled if I was that guy. And, I always talk about the car and kind of what he did. And I feel like, if we're referencing the original contact that officer made, he's like touching the guy. He's too close to him at first. And then this guy just, because he's a mentally disturbed person. He's talking about Jesus and he needs a ride somewhere and stuff. It's like, dude, you just play around with these people and you start asking them some questions and stuff. And this guy may not have bolted off and started that. So it's definitely, there's definitely some stuff that happened before.
Did anybody have the video?
Say what?
Did anybody have that video?
If you go to that agency's Facebook, or it's
on Police Activity. Police Activity's YouTube. If you go to that YouTube channel, I just searched female police disarmed and police activities, like the second, and they're always good. They always put like the full access because they'll probably do a public records request to get the whole video. So they do their video goes his version first. And then like the jogging through the parking lot and the, like Mike said last night, like where he was like, hey, if you end up coming in contact with him, and he runs, just let him go. And the
call was like he was trying to get in a civilian's car.
Yeah, there was a mom pulling out of a school. The original caller called and said there was a woman that was leaving a school, and she and this caller observed this man walk up to her car. She's got her kids in the car and pull on the door handles. So, and that correlates kind of with what the guy said, where he's like, I need a ride. You
know what Grady Judd says about that? Grady says you kill him graveyard dead.
Graveyard dead.
And if you're like, that's the other thing I'm having this mind fuck is like, these guys are saying she shouldn't have put her gun. If you were at Publix with your family and you're sitting in the parking lot off duty and some dude comes up and rips your door open, or you're getting out and he comes up, you're fucking killing that dude, man.
Yeah.
I'm not asking questions. I'm smoking them, dude.
I got a fucking insurance claim because I got broken windows because I just blew out my windows.
New fucking hoodie. I got blood on me and shit. Dude.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Like, I don't get this angle that she shouldn't have pulled her gun out under any circumstances. That is the most boneheaded thing I've ever heard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
Other things, fine, but I guess I was a little hard on first female. It was a meme. It kind of it's catchy, but her pulling her gun out wasn't the problem. It was what happened after she pulled her gun out.
All right.
Yeah, but you were accurate when you said, like, doing the tap for the body cam, taking your hand and disengaging the second foundation of a grip and stuff. Making it more difficult.
It's front desk and patching a 95 subject last seen Slater in Los Jardines West. Okay.
Now they give you the whole 911 call and everything.
That's the whole 911 call that I basically just narrated for you.
He already did your job.
Yep. I got that kind of memory. Yeah, so this is him making contact with him, like across the berm, like this guy walking around with no shirt.
What was the call? I know it was probably in there. A mentally ill person?
It was an attempted carjacking.
Oh, shit.
Okay, we'll figure that out. Take a seat for me.
So he should already be on the ground tackled at this point.
Or put down at gunpoint.
Yeah, it's a fucking... Yeah, I think my shit's working finally.
I don't have to. Yeah, you do. No, I don't. Yeah, you do. And Jesus made my pray forever. Amen.
Look at that skinny dude. He's gonna slip away. He's probably covering crackhead fucking or heroin grease.
Yeah.
They're always oily. And then they die.
We got that super low drop holster, super tactical.
Yeah.
Very tactical drop holster on the thigh.
Everybody wears that.
All right.
16 feet off of your leg.
It's almost an ankle holster.
Yeah, I fucking hate this.
It is now, dude. It's made its way down.
It's the leg strap. It's the drop the holster and the leg strap. They're like,
bro, running with an old school drop holster was the worst.
Yeah.
That thing ended up in your crotch.
30 minutes, my road will start working.
And he's tired.
Oh yeah, really tired.
He's in the parking lot across from the PD.
The guy's like running around. He's like 3 lanes over. So this is where he narrates, and he puts a little bit of information. Apparently the PD's like right across the street and stuff. So now he sees him.
insert porn
Oh,
noises.
pause it here for 1 second. Pause it here for 1 second. He's manipulating the gun. Yeah, it looks to me like he drops the mag out of the gun. Like I saw a mag fall out of the gun, and you can see it later on the floor near the curb. It looks like there's a magazine. So I didn't see him rack it, so he might have one chambered, but it looks like he's disarming her.
So now let's talk. Let's go back. Get that still up. Even though it went away.
Hold on. The still.
Bring it back to where it was. Just put that back up there for a second because we're bashing females. But okay, so right now there's a shitty backdrop. Your partner is somewhere over there.
That's not cool, man. Justin's backdrop is awesome.
That dude's having that dude's having the chick is having her porn noises. She's out of control. She's flustered. There's the fucking shot that should be taken right there.
And he's got cover with that tree.
And yes, you have a house back there. You have some problems, but that's what 20 yards, 20.
Wait.
20 yards?
So you're saying they should shoot right now?
Yeah, dude, he's got the fucking gun, and she's laying somewhere on the
Where
ground.
did he? Okay, all right. So
this is
the car rolled
this
forward.
happened while the guy was catching his breath, walking through the parking lot. This guy ran up and
This is when
caught her
after
on
the girl
perimeter.
gets her gun taken away, and she's screaming in porn noises. Like that's
Okay.
what's going on right now. So he could be killing her right now. That's the shot, in my opinion.
Yeah, this officer doesn't even know. Like, yeah, he didn't hear a gunshot, but he doesn't even know if she's been killed.
But he's got to see a gun.
Yeah, but he's got to see a gun because, like I said, I feel like that guy did a slide or he did a mag drop because you see it fall.
Oh, okay. All right. So let's watch it. Ready? Here we go.
She's in a fight. Go 3.
So you can hear it. Probably. Oh, no red dot.
She's got her weapon.
There he
Put
is.
it
He's
down,
manipulating
dude.
it.
Put it down.
Yeah.
Where's the shot?
Put it down.
Oh, he should have dropped him right there.
Yeah.
Hey, put
Now,
it down.
what about now? What about now? We got a car. So throwing a couple.
Oh man,
Okay.
that dude's just taking
998.
around.
998.
And he shouldn't be talking on the radio while he's still got some dude doing something right there. That's another thing I can't stand. But
Okay.
so there you go. So we were, as I watched this more, quick to bash the female. The male didn't do such a great job.
What are you talking about? Okay, so that was a bad call, not shooting him. But
Yep.
was it you or someone else said that he didn't even have good control of the guy and the
Look
guy
at the
ran?
beginning.
Me.
You have a guy run across the street that just committed a attempted carjacking. He should be getting Terry Tated across the lawn the second you see him. He should be office linebacker out of commission the second you come in contact. What are you going to ask him? Sir, did you mean to steal the car? Were you trying to steal
What's
the car?
up?
Oh boy. We got wanted
What's
guy
going
right
on?
now.
Most hated man on the internet right
Yeah,
now.
we got the
Fuck
FBI's
yeah,
most wanted.
dude. I'm getting so many messages talking shit.
I hear the helicopter in my house already.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like, are you associated with Yusuf Hoffa?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the FBI has just entered the chat.
The
Damn,
little
I'm seeing-
fucking the number one up next to the eyeball in the corner.
Yeah, we're no longer
Yeah.
incognito.
Dude,
My phone,
there's
just,
like
my phone just the little red light came on my phone. I don't know what that means.
there's
But
fucking
yeah, I mean,
different.
I
there's
didn't
Right,
even
sorry.
think about that guy not taking the shot, but I didn't see that.
Go back. I'm going back to the beginning.
You want me- I'll
That
bring it
dude
up.
should have been leveled the second he made contact with him. He should have been
Hold on.
tackled and cuffed.
When you just talked to him on the berm, like
Yep.
in the first 10 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they actually have it in chapters.
So this dude attempted to carjack somebody, and you're politely asking him to come stand.
We're not in any trouble.
You gotta lie to him
I
sometimes.
just need to talk to you.
Yeah, then you
Take me to
Superman.
Jonathan's. Okay. We'll
Yeah.
figure that out.
Swing around and put him
Oh,
between you and the car.
absolutely.
What's wrong? You got no shirt on. Take a seat.
Oh,
I know. I know.
Pinch him in between the car.
Take a seat.
choke
I don't
him,
have to.
throw him,
Stop
beat him,
No, I
hit
don't.
him.
And Jesus made my
Hit him.
price forever. Amen. Jesus made my price forever. Amen.
There you go. There you go. Now it's all the female's fault from there forward.
Well, Andy didn't take the shot.
See, Jerry Worms would have shot him in the back right there.
He would, and he might have been justified. So I stand corrected, and I was rather hard on the female, and I still am for what happened at the car. But there is a lot of blame to go around in this call.
Yeah.
Can you turn your mic up, Mike?
Better.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we can't hear how sexist you are, but now we can.
Misogynistic.
I thought that was pretty
You go
good.
home
Another
last
phrase.
night from the live, and your wife was like, Go. Your narrative needs to change, Mike.
No, I watched it today, and I was like, I think there's an argument going on about people saying she shouldn't have pulled her gun, and that's what really backed me up to. I would have pulled my gun out. You're stuck in the fucking car, dude. You don't have to like try to fight your way out of your own car. You don't have to try to pull it. You get a taser out, and you're right back to the dude in Grand Rapids where you got a taser within a foot of a bad guy. Then he takes it, and you're shooting him anyway. You have a right to pull your gun out on a felon who you have no idea if he's still got another weapon on him. He's walking up into your car. We had a guy down here will get killed like that.
Right to pull your gun out on somebody that opens your door. That's not a cop. It's at that point, it's at least at minimum a burglary. That's a felony.
Yes.
Carjacking.
Yeah, I mean it's
carjacking.
You can assume it's carjacking.
Yes. So
attempted carjacking of a police officer. Awesome.
Yeah. And then again, all your tools in your car. I mean, the easiest one. Hey, ma'am, ladies and gentlemen, of the jury, there was an AR-15 in the car with fucking 3 magazines. Did you want that guy to have that gun? You know, fuck the cop. The cop gets killed. Okay, now what? Now you got a guy with a car and a whole fucking bunch of ammo.
Yeah,
he's dead right there. And
I mean, just take everything else out of it. Your opinions. So we're not talking about this specific scenario, but when I saw this video at first, it was sent to me. I didn't stick around and watch the female's body cam. I just saw some dude steal a cop car, and I thought he got dumped. And I was like, there is, with a push of a button, an AR-15 in that car.
Yep.
And
yeah.
Would that be? I shouldn't say this because that makes it sound like I'm asking, like, what are your thoughts on lethal force in that scenario? That's like the same thing to me as somebody taking off running with a gun. But you have to determine it. There's a school. Is he going towards the school? What kind of crime did he just commit? You know,
I would take my chances with everything you just saw, everything he said, the Jesus, the wild shit he's saying, and his condition. That person does not need a cop car with an AR-15, and he made the decision to jump in, and I made the decision to kill him, and I would stand on that.
Right. We're all in Florida, so we're talking Baker Act. We're talking he's a risk to himself or others because a person in their right mind, you know, isn't going to jump into a police car and try and take off and drive with it. We've heard, like you said, the Jesus thing, the proclamations and stuff that he made when he takes off running and everything. Is, you know, he's got mental health issues. You know, he said at one point to the guy, I need a ride to. And he said somebody's name. I need a ride to somebody, Jonathan's house. Yeah. And so he's got something going on, some kind of crisis going on. So it's an easy Baker Act if you tackle him and get in contact with him, determine that you don't have a victim of a carjacking. You can't find the victim. The witness ends up not answering her phone. So it's like, dude, we're going to Baker Act him. Yep. Take him to the hospital and then write up the carjacking report and potentially follow up on it later, you know, but everybody's safe and sound and nobody's dead.
All right.
And I would personally, even with today's climate, take my chances killing him than have him drive down the road, get out and start lighting the parking lot up. And then you might.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. Can you imagine your mentality after that? You're done. You're done. You're
what
coward.
You're up, Yusuf.
You're up. What do you think?
Oh, about that case?
Yeah. Because you weren't at the live because you ditched us. No, I'm just kidding.
No, yeah, I definitely look, man, my opinion's probably way off. I say, why deal with this shit with the current climate and then the amount of pressure and stress you got to deal with now, being scrutinized over shooting, not shooting. I mean, the amount of pressure these officers are facing every single day now. The second they shoot or they don't shoot, their entire life is ruined. And this, obviously, we know that this officer is probably never going to show her face again, and is probably in hiding, if not embarrassed at her own self, at her agency. The amount of pressure she's under right now, whether or not we agree with her or we do, to me, none of this shit is worth it, in my opinion. Yeah. And it's just because of what I went through. Now I found life outside of law enforcement. Now I get to sit back and watch, and I would never want to trade places with these people. And I still respect, obviously, my law enforcement, and I do business with them. But I can't imagine doing it in today's environment with this type of shit going on where, you know, everything is so critical, so dangerous to your freedom that you can't make a decision on the fly without, you know, your life flashing in front of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a different feeling when you're done. Like I'm done, so my opinion is so strong, but my wife's not done, and her opinion is not as strong because
Yeah.
she's in that position of like, well, it's easy for you to say you don't work there anymore. What do I really do? Because I'm wrong no matter what I do. So what's the least? The cops are thinking, what's the least wrong? What's the least wrong thing I can do in this? Because you're never going to be right. So what is the least wrong thing? So we're lucky enough to not have to deal with it anymore. And Justin's very close. Justin's very close too.
Yeah.
You, Tyler,
Yeah.
too.
My wife started listening to the podcast that I was on. I was being interviewed, and she was like, "You sounded kind of guarded," and I was like, "Because I still have to be kind of guarded. I can't
until December.
I can't completely talk freely. Like weapons aren't free."
Just deny anything I say so you don't get in trouble.
Yeah. I don't even know who this guy is.
Yeah, you're already
get called
got
up for a
you
drug
now.
test tomorrow.
Yeah, you're on the list now tomorrow.
Drug test on Saturday. Random drug test on Saturday.
On Saturday, we're calling you into Convivo.
Your counterculture episode's almost up to 5K.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy. We haven't had one go like that in counterculture. So
yeah,
it says Real Man's comments are just people that are like, oh, I don't want to say most of them, but some of them are like, you know, like they act like, I think you got people still actively sabotaging you from that case, right? Remember when you came on Anti-Hero and then you briefly started a podcast or did something where you talked on a webcam and you like almost, I think you talked to the guy's brother. And, you called him out.
It was a guy it was a different shooting I had where he said I shot his brother.
That's right.
I did shoot a guy at that time when he pulled a gun on me. So he comes out and he says I shot his brother and I was a liar and starts making all these claims. So I came out and I started dropping evidence, like police report where his mom called and said he's got a gun. He went out. He's going to try to get killed by a cop. He's under the influence. I dropped the entire police report that she called, and then he happened to come across me, and I didn't even know he was out with a gun because we never got the bolo. But he came across me and whipped a gun out when I stopped him on a bike. So I was showing all the evidence, calling him a liar. And of course, I didn't really have enough time to continue my podcast. But yeah, I think there's like fake profiles going on. I saw the comments. It's like the same person with different usernames, and they keep coming in saying I touch women on traffic stops.
Yeah, that was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I'm under investigation for touching women on traffic stops, and it's like, okay, believe me, if anybody was monitored, I'm comfortable with any accusation because the FBI was on my fucking case. Yeah,
that's a federal offense somewhere, right?
I'm clear of anything you have to say. I'm just like, cool, man. That's great.
Yeah, shit's crazy.
That's scary, man. Scary, scary stuff.
The YouTube. I was talking to Justin last night. Me and Justin drank until like what 3 a.m.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, 2:30, I think.
And then, but our YouTube's up to 1.7K subscribers.
Counterculture is?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So we're not near the watch hours yet. We're only at, I think, close to 1,800 watch hours today.
Dude, I started 3 days ago with you guys. I got almost 600 subscribers.
Holy crap. That's awesome.
No, I'm sorry, not YouTube. I haven't dropped YouTube yet. Instagram. So,
Instagram.
My YouTube video I'm dropping probably tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll tell you guys right now. It's on the podcast. The episode I'm dropping, my first episode, is on an FDLE agent who used to work in Orange County. And when I first applied as a police officer, he denied all my employment through multiple agencies that I applied. I kept getting denied. And then when he got interviewed, he actually bragged about how he sabotaged my career because he believed I was a gang member and I wasn't. But he said he never met me. He doesn't know me. He just saw a picture of a tattoo I had and he wanted to make sure nobody hired me. He said that. And then that's 2003. 2018, he comes on my criminal case to testify as a gang expert with FDLE to testify against me. 15 years later, this guy's still on my case. So I'm dropping a full episode. I already finished the recording. It's about an hour long, where I'm actually presenting evidence, depositions, everything where this guy's involved, where he claims he's like, well, I mean, nobody gets a tattoo that says MOB if they're not in a gang. But I was never contacted by gang units. I was never interviewed, nothing.
It means money over bitches.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, he says it means member of Bloods, and then he backtracks. But to go back to that point, Instagram 600 followers almost, and people are just dropping me comments left and right. Again, a lot of support. A lot of people are like,
it's the Acquitted podcast.
Yeah, the Acquitted. That's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
You got Acquitted. You got to put that after your name, Yusuf.
Okay, yeah. Podcast. Yeah, I'll drop that next time. But no, I'm definitely the hate is good. You know, I feel a lot more comfortable now in the shell because I don't have that law enforcement um, uh, hovering over my head that
Yeah.
I could be in trouble tomorrow. So now it's like if they're gonna dish it, they better be able to handle it because I'm firing back with evidence and I'm firing back without a filter.
Yeah.
Good. That's what
Love
it
it.
needs. That's what it takes, man. I mean,
You're gonna call this dude out by name?
Oh yeah. Roberto Hernandez. I'm putting him on. I'm putting him on the thumbnail too.
Putting him on blast, baby.
Yeah. Yeah.
is he retired?
No, he's still active, and I wanted to go to FDLE. I wanted to go every agency to know what type of shit he did to me. No, this guy. Listen, I got FDLE gave me my cert. I went to the academy, got certified, and I applied with agencies. This is brand new officer, never been hired, and agencies are denying me left and right. And the only way I found out is my uncle. He was working at Daytona Beach. He said, "Hey, there's a bolo on you, a bulletin. There's a picture of a tattoo that says you're a gang member." So I contact the agencies. I contact FDLE. They're like, "We don't know nothing about it. You got to contact Orange County." I get a hold of Orange County and I speak to their gang unit. And you know, the guy tells me on the phone, "Well, if you don't get gang related tattoos, then you won't have to deal with this type of shit." I'm like, "Well, I'm not a gang member, so why are you posting pictures about me?" And that was the end of it. So
No,
long story short,
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I end up getting hired with Palm Bay, but Palm Bay actually exposed that Roberto Hernandez was doing that because they actually told me, "Hey, this guy's basically saying that all the agencies denied you because of him, and he's saying he doesn't even know you." I mean, I let it fly back then. I got the report, and I'm posting it on my video. I got the report. I let it slide, but 2018, he jumps back in my criminal case, and I told my lawyer, "Get this fuck."
That's the craziest thing about cop work to me is that some cops that you do not get along with, you rub each other the wrong way, you don't like each other. Some of those guys will still never fucking sell you out, no matter what. They operate by that cop code. You just happen to not fucking like each other. Then there's the little snakes that act like they're your friends, and you think they're your friends, and they're the first ones to fucking sell you out. It's crazy. It's a crazy.
Yep.
The brotherhood's fucking crazy.
Yeah,
But what about but what about when people don't even know you?
That's
even know
weird.
you.
That's because you got the
Yeah.
FBI after you for terrorism.
Yeah,
that's
there was
true.
an ulterior motive there. Somebody he knew you. He didn't know you, but he knew you for a reason. There was something.
Yeah.
Mike,
Well,
you
I'll
should
drop
have, Mike should have a bunch of people reaching out to him.
I did. I got four calls since the TikTok inbox. I got a real good one. He's up in Texas, and he got permission from his new agency to come on. He was involved. He was shot on a traffic stop. The case isn't even finished yet, and they railroaded him out of the agency he was at. And actually, one of the supervisors that didn't like him testified against him in one of the criminal trials for the guy that shot him, that he was not reliable. It's wild story, but
Wow.
it's happening everywhere. The same narrative, the same thing.
Niche.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, like helping out Sal, and now just getting these stories out because, like Yusuf's story as well, is controlled and direct attack on cops, and it comes from everywhere. And you know, it's hard enough making that decision to pull your gun out, and now go as deep as what happened to Yusuf, and think that this is happening to people all over the nation, and it's just a controlled process of and it's the mental health issue in law enforcement is what happened to Yusuf, what happens to these guys like Lance Fisher and people like that. We've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it again. It's not the job. The job doesn't cause the fucking problems. It's the brotherhood or lack thereof. I'm convinced when I got investigated that I was close to exposing 2 dirty cops, and I know who they are. And one day I'm going to document it all, put it out like he's going to. And I think that's why they came after me. I was close to uncovering.
Mike, I'll tell you, there's some things that I'm definitely not going to talk about, and it's nothing about me being dirty. There's shit that I've seen in the process of these agents meeting with me, and I'm convinced that if I bring it up, they'll fucking take my ass out.
And that's my problem too. Is I know people got in trouble. I know.
For real.
I know they did a lot of investigating on me to come up with nothing, and people look very stupid. And
because there's reports I have that are they're redacted, and I know who the people are, and these people are no good, and they're with high rank agency members. They're moving around from place to place with agency members, and they're not good people. And so there's some things I'm going to keep out, and I don't talk about, just to let them know, like, I'm sharing what I can, but I'm not sharing everything. So stay away from me. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I'm going to be humble when I say this, and I mean it in a very humble way. But I got to be arrogant now, man. I'm fucking rich. I'm not poor anymore like I used to be as a cop. I have enough money for good attorneys, and that's why I'm dropping shit now. It's like, you sabotaged my life for years. You've destroyed my life, man. You stepped on me and slapped me around and lied and slandered my name, essentially. So now that's what it says, public record. As long as it's public record, I'm dropping it, and I'm dropping it calculated. I'm doing
Yeah.
it in a manner that shows good evidence, nothing about just personal feelings, but it's showing this is what took place, and here it is. Here's all the evidence, so people can look and go, "Damn, what a shitbag that guy was that did
Right.
that."
And they do it. If they did it to you, think about who else they could do it to.
He's got to be
Mhm.
almost retired by now. 2003.
Yeah, he's yeah, it's just seeing his name on my case, man, when I'm fighting for my life. I have first the state used my ex-wife to testify against me, which is completely wrong
That's
in
fucking
the
wild,
middle of
dude.
a child custody battle. And
Yeah.
then this guy pops up as a gang expert, and he's trying to identify my affiliations with gangs as almost 13 to 15 years later from the date that I got hired. He's still trying to say that he doesn't know, but I got hired by 4 agencies, 4 separate times, and given polygraphs and voice stresses over my backgrounds on every time I got hired. And his excuse is, well, I'm not a polygraph examiner. I don't know the science, but I know people can defeat it. So there's always an excuse to just
Yeah.
make it seem like I told you before on your podcast, it's like I'm the fucking Jason Bourne. They made me out to be this guy that's like, everybody watch him. He's defeated the FBI. He's defeated the CIA. Wait, and I won't say everything, but I'll tell you this: wait till the episode comes out about my flight to Lebanon and how I got pulled out off the plane and my bags were cut.
Oh my God.
Where's the AKs?
Yeah.
They're in there. We know it.
They're in there.
Yeah, I was like, "Do I need a lawyer?" And they're like, "This is called the Patriot Act. We don't have
I
to."
love the Patriot Act. No, I don't love it. I'm sorry. I love the fact that it was implemented because like the amount of freedom it gives the federal government is insane. I mean, you guys know what the Patriot Act is, right?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I said. I was talking to a guy about me, and I said all the bullshit they made up. I'm like, bro, the Patriot Act was in effect. They can say whatever the fuck they want. Listen to anybody's phone they want. They can do whatever they want now because of that thing. That is carte blanche to do anything by the federal government, whatever they
wild,
want.
dude.
So
The whole reason to fly planes into a building.
yeah,
Create the Patriot Act.
allegedly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Yusuf, your FBI TikTok's at almost 750,000 views.
Yeah. I know it's getting mixed emotion. That people are, oh, well, they don't just follow anybody for no reason. They don't just. I'm like, okay.
You got yes,
I
they
mean,
do. That's the whole point of it.
what's funny is people say that, and then every time we do something, we're harassing them. We're doing that. We're
Well, we also
Yeah.
have
I didn't do nothing wrong, but okay. Then, but when it's a cop, he had to have done something wrong.
there was a guy in the comments in our body worn camera reel, and he was like, he didn't say anything shitty, but he was one of those guys where like, if you're not doing anything wrong, there's nothing to worry about. And I'm like, dude, you clearly have not been wearing a body cam very long, brother. Because I mean, the fucking curse words you say, the fucking Copenhagen in your mouth, the fucking anything you do, like it's all used against you.
Did I? Well, I don't think I talked about this yet. We joined up with like an AI company that goes through all of our body cam. All of our body cam gets dumped into this AI. It's called True Leo, and it watches. The AI watches all of it and finds words. So like I was talking to some kid about not going to school or whatever, and I don't know why I said it, but I said retarded, and my sergeant texted me and was like, "Hey, your body worn got flagged for improper language because you said retarded." He goes, "I didn't see anything wrong with it. This is fucking retarded." Like was what he said. Like and.
Trump said that I can say retarded now.
Yeah, well, no, that's what I thought. It's national law, or at least an executive order. But and it's just, dude. So we're just trying to stack all the videos on top of it. Because if you say taser, if you say gun, if you talk about use of force with anything, even on a different case, tags it and it puts that video in front of the sergeant. So we're just like, we're on some like standby and we just like, hey bro, I really like where you moved your taser to on your vest. That's a good spot. It's just not so close to your body camera. And you know, if you ever need to deploy your taser, you know, we just say stuff like that. And then the body cam footage
That's
just
a great. That's a really nice gun you got there. What kind of gun is that?
yeah.
Hey,
Did
Justin,
you watch WWE
guys
the other
have-
night? The guy put him in a chokehold, you know?
Yeah.
Justin, did you guys have was it like policy in your agency or where they would just supervisors would just sit in their office and watch videos like during the shifts, like body
Yeah,
cams?
Do it for 10 minutes a shift or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
they have to
Right,
do
okay.
they have to do 3 videos. So most of the time they try to find videos that are under 3 minutes because they don't feel like wasting their time. But so I always make sure, you know, to keep my video extra long. That way they're not interested in most of them. But yeah, they have to watch like 3 videos a week or something something like that. I don't know.
You know what now too is they have this thing where it's a ratio percentage, right? And so it'll show the amount of times you went on scene on a call versus the amount of body worn camera activated. So if you have less than 80% active, because what I used to do is I would just never turn mine on.
Uh-huh.
Right. And so of course Axon's like, no, we're gonna find a way for admin to figure that shit out. So they did. And they went to me, they're like, dude, you're averaging 60%, you know. So then I was like, okay, well then I just won't go on scene. Like I just stay. I go on scene, but I don't go on scene.
Yeah. And stay out of everybody, stay behind everybody.
It's going too far. I mean, it's going too far. And I think we talked about it last night. The monopoly or the counterculture episode, the monopoly of Axon is just, oh, you need this too, and oh, you need this too, and now you need word flag. You need a translator. You need that.
They just had SHOT Show for Axon. It was like an entire convention just based around Axon.
What those are fucking gays right there. That's a gay convention.
They're coming for they're going to take over the tag reader.
And Reagan nailed it. R.I.P. Reagan. He nailed it when he said, he's like, I can't stand these fucking cop podcasts that are sponsored by like Axon or all this, like, you know, all these police and like, I get it if you're a PIO, like Justin, if you're doing something for the job and you're like, hey, you know, we're interviewing the guy from Axon. That makes total sense. When you're totally separate, shots fired, podcast. No, I'm just kidding, sort of. And you go and you like interview the owner or the CEO of Axon, and you're just like, oh my god, Axon's so amazing. Like, no, it's not. And even if it wasn't that bad, that's the most unpunk rock thing to do. It's like, you know what I do? I like my chief. He's awesome.
Yeah. They're taking over. They're taking over, and they're it's almost like blackmail. They're just pushing the chiefs and the administration. Like, if you don't have this, you know this can happen. If you don't have that, this can happen. And they're just growing and growing.
Yeah, don't be the one that doesn't have Axon.
But then you're gonna get, that's like you love RoboCop so much. That gets to the RoboCop response of, now everybody gets a ticket, everybody goes to jail. There's no discretion because I'm not going to get in trouble for showing favoritism based on skin color or age or I didn't arrest a female, so I must be a stalker, and I only arrested a male. It's going to go like, fuck it. Everybody gets a ticket. Everybody goes to jail. There's no more discretion because I'm not going to be accused of a ratio or a percentage of, well, 62% of your arrests were females, and you must like females more, and you must be targeting, or black, you arrest more. It's all going to be broken down so far that they're going to have every angle to come at you for something. They want to skew the numbers.
The ones we just got issued now, they can, certain people can live stream you if you're recording. So you have to be recording. They can't just tap into it.
Yeah,
that they're telling us.
Yeah.
But if you're recording, it was explained to us at our agency, Lieutenant AIM, which is the cervix like center where like they, you know, AIM is like the fucking place where they have all the cameras and
real-time crime center.
Yes, that.
I was like,
that's where I work.
Like, you've got a cervix? Like,
Libris.
What are you guys doing up there?
But yeah, and they can tap into it. And I was like, okay, like everybody else, I want to get your guys' opinion on this. So there was a call the other day with a guy, it was a shooting call in suburbia, which is kind of weird, but somebody got shot. We responded before we could even really, not me, but the deputies on scene could render aid. The suspect vehicle comes back, so they down it. She's like, I got one at gunpoint, blah blah blah. Then the radio goes quiet. She's like, step it up. And the radio is quiet. And then all of a sudden we hear stop, 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 stop. And it's radio silence. And I'm thinking like, oh shit, she just got overtaken, right? Like she was the only one on scene. Well, turns out that she had him laid out, and her closest unit was doing about $110 around the cul-de-sac corner, or around the corner into the cul-de-sac. And she was telling him to stop, stop, stop. So they didn't run him over.
Yeah.
But because of that, AIM was allowed to tap into her body, or not allowed, tapped in and stream that she wasn't fighting. And I was like,
So like, look, man, what happens is that like the axon, it turns purple, so that you look down and you see a purple light instead of the red light when it's blinking, and that's how you know Big Brother's watching. And I've seen videos where Real Time Crime Center will tap into the video when somebody's chasing them, kind of like when you're in a pursuit. You know, the normal tactics, the number 2 car is supposed to call out all the moves. First car is the one that's focused. Second car is calling out all the turns, all the stop signs, you know, like every road they're on. So Real Time Crime Center has narrated this person's pursuit and explained stuff over the air to give the officer the ability to not have to worry about keying up on the mic.
That was my job. The last year of my career was.
Oh, you did this, right, Mike? Yeah, you worked at Real Time
Center detective. So we had we wrote a policy on what we could go in on. So it wasn't like, you know, if you're on a civil call and all that, we weren't going to go. But if there was any type of hot call, and then if you didn't answer your radio or you keyed up and didn't respond, there was certain criteria. Then we had a big video wall and we would go in and watch, and it helped, especially like in Orange County, you're so big, it helps. But being small, I know where everybody was. Like I know the entire county. I knew the streets they were at. I knew. So I could even set perimeters or tell guys stop at this avenue and that avenue and stop there. And I could watch the map and see how they were coming on scene. And almost like where a supervisor, instead of a supervisor directing all that, the supervisor could get to the critical incident and I could start directing. Perimeters and all that stuff. So there was a really good call. There's a really cool one. And Flagler is one of the first counties to do it, where a female cop got out with a rifle. Dude's got a rifle as well. And she literally gets on the radio and says, RTCC, take the radio. And she just gets both hands on her gun and she stalks.
That might be what I'm referring to.
That's Flagler County. And she actually stalked, and the crime center's like, he's got a red shirt, he's walking eastbound, and now she's not focused on the radio, she's not focused on anything but target. And she's got her red dot on, she's ready to go if he does anything.
It's the age-old tale, though. You know, how much security you're willing to sacrifice before it starts taking over your freedoms. You know, like
right.
But they always start this stuff. It's a tool to help.
The only side of that I'm going to say is your camera's on anyway. So if they could go in and start it, I'm against it. But if your camera is going to be on anyway, what's the difference if they're watching it live or if they're going to watch it back at the office?
I got a funny story about that. My buddies were on a call at a 7-Eleven. Body cams were on. The man, they're dealing with the other units, dealing with the cashier or whatever, and he sees his body cam turn purple. So he goes, oh. So he could do it because it wasn't a hot call. He went over to the rollers, decided to start fixing himself a fucking hot dog. And he starts fixing a hot dog, putting relish on it, all right in front of his body camera. And the sergeant started texting him, and he's like cracking up laughing, crying, laughing, because he's like, you're such a fucking idiot. So you can have fun sometimes if it's not a dangerous call.
We were using it for translation and a lot of stuff too. Like we had it got to the 2A on the Axon 4 has that 2A communication. So we could talk back and forth through the Axon dashboard. So like I was in the crime center, we had 2 Hispanic speaking crime center analysts. So a guy was on a scene with a suspect or a victim, couldn't talk to him because it was Hispanic. We would have the guy and they would talk right through the body cam to the analyst, and they were able to translate right there. So there are some benefits to that technology, but I still think it's taking away. It's going to eventually take away from discretion and your ability to make a decision where there's going to be a guy watching your camera like a sergeant going, nope, arrest him. Nope, write him a ticket. Nope, don't do that. It's going to get to that point, and you're going to be like, well, it's RoboCop. We laugh about it, but I think it's going to get to the point where put your gun away. What are you doing? Like, you haven't seen a gun yet? Like, you're going to be getting yelled at. Like, what the like?
There'll be a committee like the 4 of us sitting there watching a video.
Or you'll have Chicago or Philly have a civilian board watching,
going, Monday morning quarterbacking it in real time.
Yeah, real time. What are you doing? Put your left hand on the gun. What are you doing?
I think you'll see a Tesla robot that they'll be testing out on the field, where a robot is probably rolling up on a car and there's a video and someone's controlling it.
Of RoboCop that makes it so great is the fact that you have to have humans enforcing the law because of the human nature that
Yeah, you'll never
it
get
takes.
to AI completely enforcing it, but
Well, right now you can drive through some cities and they'll send you a ticket for speeding off of a camera on a pole, right?
Yeah.
So let's just I'm just throwing this out. There's cars that are there's cars doing like Uber rides now with nobody in it, and it's controlled by someone playing a video game, right? Moving it around. There's a video of a cop pulling over a car
I
without
saw
anyone
that
in
one.
it,
Yeah,
and he's
yeah.
talking to. So imagine now it's some sort of device like that, similar to a mobile robot. It goes up, has lights on it. You pull over, and the shit rolls up to your window and starts talking to you. It says you ran that red light back there. Put your driver's license registration inside of this thing, and it slides out. You drop your device. You drop your paperwork in there, and that shit closes, and it rolls back, comes back, and prints out a fucking ticket for $285 in a court date.
It pulls out a
This
Glock.
shit is. Yep.
What happens when you call the
Yeah.
robot a pussy ass cracker? Does it get mad, or does it stay? Does it go?
Fuck, I don't know, but I wouldn't want to get beat up by a robot, though. I know that.
When we were in Jersey, dude, it was me and Reagan. One of y'all were with me. We were at the live show and we were walking. It was me,
Yeah.
Reagan.
No, it was when we were walking back from lunch and they had the Amazon or the Uber Eats robot.
The Uber Eats robot was walking down the sidewalk.
Dude, rolling. Yeah, it was a tank. It was a little mini tank with antennas, and it's got a freak. It's a rolling cooler. It's like a Yeti, and it's got your food inside of it. And they're on both sides of the road driving down. And I remember,
Dude, I'm telling you, we're laughing about it right now, but watch, they're planning something to figure out how to get a robot to replace officers, and they can say we can control these devices. We can't control these fucking guys to do everything we want, but we can control these devices whenever we need to.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude,
And
does the robot go to jail when it beats the shit out of somebody? what do you burn
when
it?
it goes home and beats up
you
the lights.
unplug it. You fucking
What do you
unplug
do
it and
it?
restart it. You know.
Yeah, you can always. Yeah, it'll be. They'll
You're
come
fired.
up-
You're now an Uber Eats walker. You're no longer a cop.
yeah. That's the Uber Eats walker is a demoted cop
Yeah.
robot.
Canines that don't make it. So
We
they
got an
go to
Uber
other
Eats
service
we got an Uber Eats having flashbacks. He's got somebody at gunpoint at the corner.
Dude, I go to these the Chinese or these Asian hot pot restaurants, and they have the freaking robot that'll take you to your seat or it'll take you to your table, and it's like it comes up to people and it's like, excuse me, and it like tells them to move, and it's like, enjoy your food, and it
Are you seriously?
yeah, dude,
gotta see that.
it'll
I gotta see
it'll bring you your checkout. The person like types in your table number and it freaking rolls through and it sings a little song and your check's sitting there and it's like, thank you. And it like, you take your check and you fill it out and you leave it.
They have one similar to that in the United Airlines in the airports inside their
Oh, yeah.
lounges. They
Yeah.
have one like that. It'll pull up next to you and you can put your food and your trays inside of it. It'll just roll off, say thank you. It has a screen on there.
Bro,
So yeah.
Star Wars, bro. Star Wars.
Mhm.
What's the little the ball one from the new?
Oh, BB-8.
Yeah,
It'd be like BB-8 or R2D2.
I mean, instead of canines, we'll have droids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Look
they
like
can
that.
taser them.
They have them.
You know
now.
what they need to do is they need to make a Star Wars esque police show, like Star Wars, but you're still street cops. Like you're never gonna get rid of the street cop. There used to be a show on MTV about vampires and werewolves, and it was cops. It was cops, just like Reno 911 is based off cops. It was cops, but like they lived in a world with like monsters.
Oh, yeah. I think it's on Netflix or
Is
something
it?
like that.
What's it
I think I've
called?
watched that show.
Yeah, good times.
Yeah. Vampires and werewolves. Yeah. I think it was pretty recent. What do we got? We got Jerry Worms in the chat.
Where's Jerry at?
He's up there.
Jerry.
T Money, all that is man. He wants to know if we got the death penalty for shooting the robot.
Simon here says, I crossed the street in New Zealand and across the road from a police station, and a cop ran out and said, I'm sending you a letter and a bill for jaywalking.
Simon Futter said a lot.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I said no jaywalking.
There's no jaywalking law in New Zealand. Kind of should have just kept your mouth shut.
How about that one live streamer that had the remote controlled robot and would do things people said, and then they donated and had a knife at one point and turn it off?
That's funny.
If I shoot a Popo robot, do I get the death penalty? You don't even get the death penalty for a dog.
In Florida.
In Florida, it's a second-degree felony. It's
I don't know. What didn't Trump just say? Death penalty for cop killers, like nationwide or something like that? I thought it was like an executive order.
I thought that was a state thing.
Yeah.
What if the state doesn't execute?
Yeah, and it has to be a federal crime or something
All
like that.
Trump did was say we can say gay and retard.
Yeah. Okay.
Yusuf, you watched last night?
No, I did not.
He big look at this all the way. Didn't show up, didn't watch. Fuck you guys.
Somebody had me say,
Oh yeah.
all right, so it's like, would you rather have this or would you rather have your knee KNEE space GROW? And I was like, would you rather
Negro.
have your knee?
He said Negro, but he read it perfectly. And then there was the one that I read, and you looked at me and you go, "What's that?" And you said it, and then you go, "Oh crap!"
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, but you got a lot of love in the comments, man. Appreciate you guys. And
Thanks for chiming in.
yeah, we're Friday night. The Friday night open mics are definitely the most challenging thing I've ever done because it's at the end of a week, at the end of a work week, at the very end. Like,
Yeah. The first week was fun.
The first one was.
Yeah, and then it's like
It just
man, I
happened
was
to
at
have
dinner and I'm
everybody
like-
high energy, high intensity, but like in the podcast world, everybody feeds off each other. So if one person, if the whole room is down on energy, one person can't pick it up. Like it has to be everybody. So
and we lost our
But
biggest talent. so.
these are more
The
for
biggest talent.
these are more for just talks. You know, they're not supposed to be. If I can get a clip out of it, that's cool. Like, you know, you beating the robot beat somebody, you know, that's probably a good clip. But most shit's talking about like where's the next live Point Man podcast is having problems finding a venue.
And that's in Boston. That's out of Massachusetts area.
Yeah. So
I'm sure we'll find. I mean, he's gonna find something.
are you gonna go to the next live, Yusuf? You trying to?
Thursday?
No. So Counterculture does these live shows. We do it once a quarter. We go to a city and we do a big live takeover.
Where are you doing it at?
Trying to do it in Boston and at the end of July.
Yeah, I'll be there.
So it's a good time. I mean, we have some of those lives on the we have them on our YouTube. So we have Jersey City on Counterculture YouTube, and then we have the Philadelphia one is on Anti-Heroes YouTube because Counterculture was too new, so we couldn't go live.
Oh,
Yeah, but yeah, congrats to you guys and all your hard work, man. Fucking Counterculture is up to almost 2K subscribers. So
It's fucking flying.
And you caught me tonight at away from my house, but I did set up, just so you guys are aware, I did set up my home studio and my other house and out of state studio. So when I'm on the next live with you guys, I'll have a backdrop and professional setup. So I'm on the phone today, but I'll be ready for all the hate.
he's been on the shit earth this whole time.
Yeah, I was waiting to
Dude, I was
flesh, man. It's
sick
just
as
you
a
know.
dog, dude. I was
Huh?
fucked. I was sick yesterday.
How's the tack shop going? Yusuf, is it going good?
Yeah, we're still closed because we're still ordering guns.
You've been closed this whole time?
Yeah, because I've been all I'm doing is ordering inventory. I'm working out of state, making money and buying guns. By the time I open, I should have a store full of 300-400 guns.
The FBI
Wow.
would love that.
But I've been checking in with the ATF, letting them know they're like, "You're good." And I was like, "All right." But yeah, the best part about everything that I went through is that I'm on this side now, where I can have the type of business I have, and people like these agents that sabotage me can't do anything about it. You get what I'm saying? I'm not having committed crimes. I'm not. I have my license, so it just states more for people out there who may be going through some hardship. And I'm getting some of those messages where people are going, "Glad to hear I'm not the only one," and there's some motivation. And I'm like, "Keep
Everybody
going."
has said, some of my closest friends, I didn't know anything about them, said when Mike and Yusuf talked, I felt like I was there. One guy said when Mike said, "I'm listening to my story," he was like, "I'm listening to Mike say that," like he was like, that's my story too. So
And
I got emails.
the best recipe for revenge is success, and that's why I'm so happy for you, because they expected you to fall, they expected me to fall, they expected us to suffer and watch us, and by not having that, now having a platform to come back, that is what motivates me. Helping up the other cops like Sal, but having a platform where you didn't ruin me, you didn't break me, you tried.
Mm-hmm.
That's That's
And
the answer.
I think you guys said it in your different podcasts about this stuff. Is they it's almost like they wanted you to eat your gun. They want you to take your life
100%,
because
yes.
of what they're putting you through. One of my good friends has got the same thing, and I'm looking forward to the day where he either has that book finished or nowadays he's going to jump on one of these podcasts. I'm not giving them to you, Mike. Fuck you.
We wouldn't do criminals this bad. I mean, even the dudes that I like targeted. You still played by the rules, and you still had to catch them selling dope, and you had to catch them slipping. They don't have to do that. They just fucking railroad you and just keep piling it on. And there's no due process for a cop. There's no rights. You have no fucking out. You're just stuck.
Well, I talked about it on Antihero. You know, when I got locked up, just you know, hey, are you suicidal? No. And then basically, well, we're going to override this, and you're going to suicide watch. It was strip all my clothes off, and I'm sitting in suicide watch for an entire week with no clothes on. I'm like, dude, I'm not suicidal. But the comments coming from the outside of law enforcement was, he'll be dead in the next 72 hours. He's going to take his life. Definitely, he's going to.
Here's my thought. Not to say that they're trying to do you any favors, but word gets out that a cop's in Gen Pop or in holding or whatever.
No, I get that.
I almost feel like they're like, you're going to commit suicide, right? Even though they may want you to, they're like, look, we're not going to let these guys kill you, these animals kill you inside.
Yeah. No. So they left me. They put me in ISO later once I cleared medical for suicide watch after a week. So the suicide watch was basically, they said, because it's such a traumatic case that you have, you're all over the news. You're going to stay in here. We're going to monitor you. No blanket, no pillow, nothing.
Yeah.
Right. So I laid there with no clothes on, going, dude, I'm just cold. Can I get a fucking blanket? They're like, no. So I lived through that for a week. Once I was done, then they moved me to isolation. I was in Seminole County. So they moved me to ISO. That was the jail. That was the section of the jail where I stayed by myself for the remaining of almost the 3 months. And like I said on Antihero, I think they put me in the cell where the inmates were like, that's George Zimmerman's cell. That's where George Zimmerman was. So that's the cell I was in. At least that's what they said. I don't know. But ISO, I didn't have a window in there. I couldn't see anything but the wall in front of me, and I stayed there the entire time.
That's a long time.
If you came in the country illegally, AOC would have been there advocating for you to get a pillow and blanket. But since you're a Republican white male, you didn't get a pillow or blanket, and nobody cared.
Yeah.
Think about that. Think about that. Like a fucking guy's working the streets, fucking street cop, and over fucking bullshit, he's got no blanket, no pillow, and he's on suicide watch. You know, that doesn't happen to regular fucking people, man.
But man, we fight through it, and we're here today, man. And now,
and that's what counterculture is. We're gonna fucking say the stuff that happens. We're not gonna sugarcoat it. We're not gonna fucking let these people influence us. We're gonna say the fucking truth. And as this grows, that word's only gonna get out further and further. And just this week, like Tyler said, 4 calls from cops with same fucking story, same shit. Dudes have been shot in the line of duty or getting fucking railroaded. Like, come on, man, come on.
Yeah. And like you could look at it like. So there's 2 ways to look at it. You could look at, as far as growth, focusing on negative stories from a local regional area. A lot of people would say, hey, man, that's not going to make you grow. However, if you start a movement and everybody knows that's what you stand for, you might, because I was worried that like people aren't going to like, all right, like I'm Tyler. I had a shitty experience. I got fired or whatever, I want to get on Cop Bill's podcast and talk about it. I was worried that people by human nature aren't going to care about my story because they already got their own shit going on. They're not going to want to hear. I think I might be proved wrong by that, but
based on my DMs, it's very successful. I mean, the people advocate, keep doing what you're doing, keep telling the good story, and that's, I mean, I'm talking 150 messages a day. And then now guys are getting the balls to actually reach out and want. And this guy that I'm talking about from Texas is still working and went and got permission from his new agency to talk bad about the old agency and what he went through. So we're starting to, but you're right. If I was over here locally, I think it was just local and I was like interviewing all my friends about all the problems they had locally. Okay. But when you start to show that it's a nationwide problem and it's happening all over, and now you got guys that have been shot and guys that have been officers of the year and guys that were in good graces that get ran out because of politics or getting on the wrong side of an administration. I think it's something that needs to be talked about and needs to be heard maybe by some politicians or some people that can make some changes to this, because it's fucking out of control. And nobody should have to tell Yusuf's story. Another Yusuf should not happen. Nobody should have to tell that story again. that you
And,
get allowed to be targeted by the FBI and FDLE as a cop. Like that should never happen.
That's the beautiful thing about these live shows is that all these people come and like actually meet you from that city. Like if you go to their area, like all these people that we engage with, they physically come and see you. It's fucking crazy. And you're like, man, like it's humbling too, because you're like, obviously I'm just like you. You know, but they respect the platform so much. They want to come be part of the live show. They're not, I don't want to say they're coming to see us. They're coming to be part of the counterculture. We got the big fucking backdrop with the CC Inc. and the fucking, you know, slinging shirts.
Like a lot of guys, they're just not positioned to say things. And I get it. I've been there and I did say stuff and I got ran out. So they respect the fact that somebody is bringing attention to what is a massive national problem. And nobody else has
Mike,
done it.
Even just on my side, I got an email a couple days ago from a guy in New Orleans. I received a few different emails, but the type of emails I'm getting are people saying, "Hey, I have a similar situation. Is there any way I can talk to you?" And I'm shooting phone calls. I'm telling them, "Send me your number." I'm calling them, and it's just that 30-minute phone call that may save their life. And tell them, "Look, man, like it's going to be all right. Like, you know, talk to your attorney, do this or do that." And no one's expecting, because no one ever did that for me when I was going through my case. I was fucking abandoned. But in this platform now
and there wasn't this platform either. Yeah, it's not. There wasn't that there, because I get a lot of like, I didn't expect you to answer. I didn't. Well, that's
exactly
what like that's what I'm here, and that's what I want to do is answer you. I don't care about, you know. Everybody jokes. I don't care about likes and views. Like the memes were cool. And now that meme has led to, I was telling somebody this yesterday, that memes have led to a much bigger, more important thing.
Well,
and that's where I feel I'm at now.
When you had a great idea, I think it was you and then Reagan, or Reagan and then you, but it was you guys were the catalyst for it, is literally showing up to the doorsteps of courthouses or jails where these cops are. Like, Yusuf, could you imagine, like, if you knew that there was fucking like 10 dudes out there asking, like, live on air, asking questions, why is this cop in here, you know, what, having everybody do, get out, no, I'm not answering that, like, and then so we don't do we make no impact there, but you put that shit online and now there's thousands of people that know that this cop is being fucked over right here. And I copy so much from Barstool Sports, and more of a kidding, joking side. That's what Dave Portnoy used to do. He used to go and like
in the picket line outside the building.
He got arrested a couple times because he would, you know, like over sports, but it was more joking. But I was like, what if we did that? Like,
that's what I'm thinking. Like, I think it's Sal's case. If we all showed up at the fucking AG's office in New Jersey, like, hey, motherfucker, like, why do you have this innocent cop and fucking indict it? Like, what the fuck is going on? And start putting heat on them. So they're like, wait a second, you know, this is going to affect my votes. Like, maybe I
go to the fucking mayor's office. Go to the mayor's office. This is your city. What, you know, you got cameras. Like, I mean, obviously, you have to make more of a spectacle because you're not going to be able to talk to whoever you want to talk to. But yeah, I mean, that's kind of the idea of it in the future, you know.
Hold them accountable. That's what that's my accountability is my turn. That's what I'm here for. I'm going to hold people accountable that have taken advantage of the job, the anxiety that officers have, the unwillingness to speak out because you're scared. Somebody has to hold them accountable. I did 23 years. I suffered through it. Now let me help these guys, hold them accountable for their actions. And that's I enjoy it and I like it.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much sums up the Friday night open mic. Thank you guys all for being here. Chill session. I had a beer. No one else had a beer, so it makes me look like an alcoholic. But
I had whiskey.
Oh, there you go. Me and Justin are back at it.
Yeah. Less than 12 hours later.
Enjoy your weekend, guys.
95 Ocean, you have an open mic. Oh, 95 Ocean, open mic. Oh, 95 Ocean.